my name is Paul Basolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center at ivymasters.com. Today we're going to look at Test 5, Section 1, number 33 and 34. 33 reads, the author of the passage suggests that crowds may be more effective at what? Whenever it asks what the author thinks, you got to pay attention to that, because a lot of times in these passages what you'll find is there's counter-argument. And so one of the answer choices is going to reflect what someone else thinks. In fact, number 33 is paired with number 34. And a lot of times what you'll find is in the counter argument, you'll find that a wrong answer for 33 matches a wrong answer for 34. Why? Because the counter argument for 33 matches a line reference for the counter argument for 34, but again, it's asking about the author. So, other types of wrong answers, sometimes more than one for 33 type question will seem correct. The correct answer's got to have a match with 34. Or more than one for 34 might seem to be correct. Correct answer's got to have a match with number 33. And then one thing that came up with in class yesterday is that a student said, hey, I read somewhere in an SAT prep book that the line reference for 34, it's got to be before the correct answer for 35, and it's got to be after the correct answer for number 32. Well, this simply is not true. We do find that there are answers that are out of order here, so you got to be careful with that. What I've done here is I've already marked out the line references where the author could be found. Keep in mind it's asking about the author, and it's asking what crowds may be more effective at. So one answer choice, A, which is line 9 there, sometimes a crowd really is wiser than you. Okay, sounds like it didn't tell you what the crowd's better at, but it sounds like it's an intro, and it sounds like the correct answer could be this answer choice B, this part that follows. Your guess is, and we'll get some context, we'll read the classic example. Examples are guessing the weight of a bull or the number of gumballs in a jar. So this is a classic example of something where the crowd might be wiser than you. And in answer choice B, we find your guess is probably going to be far off the mark, whereas the average of many people's choices are remarkably close to the true number. That looks like a good answer. Answer choice B. In answer choice C, and to get some context, I'll read from line 15. But what happens when the goal is to judge something less tangible, such as the quality or worth of a product? According to one theory, the wisdom of the crowd still holds. Measuring the aggregate of people's opinions produces stable, reliable value. So notice it says according to one theory. This is not the author speaking. This is the author presenting a theory. So it's not going to be D, just based on that. And then, or it's not going to be C, just based on that. Answer choice D. To test which hypothesis is true, you'd have to manipulate huge numbers of people, exposing them to false information and determining how it affects their opinions. He's just proposing how the answer might be arrived at. Now notice for this one, it looks like we're answering the line reference before we get the other question. You want to be flexible on these problems. Sometimes you might just remember the answer. You answer number 33 before number 34. Sometimes you might not remember the answer, remember where it is in the passage. You might answer 34 before 33. For this one, it looks like your guess at what? The weight of the bull or the number of gumballs in a jar. Notice, even though it's asking about just lines 11 to 14, you do need some context, and you could read before for some context to just help you to better understand what's going on in line 11 to 14. So weight of a bull and gumballs in a jar is what the crowd is better at. So it looks like number 32, the correct answer is B. And let's see, number 33. Crowds, are they more effective at creating controversy than examining an issue in depth? There's no line reference that matches that. We don't see anywhere in the passage, at this point you would have read the rest of the passage, where the author is saying that crowds create controversy rather than examining an issue in depth. Now, maybe it's true generally speaking, but if the author is not saying answer choice A, then that can't be the correct answer. Answer choice B, reinforcing members' ideas, then challenging those ideas. And in those lines, we don't see any support for that either. Answer choice C, arriving at accurate quantitative answers, then producing valid qualitative judgments. Some of you might read this answer choice and be like, hey, what's it talking about? Well, quantitative is an adjective describing the answers. If we made it into a noun, it would be quantity. Qualitative is an adjective describing judgments. If we made it into a noun, quality. So as you read more and your vocabulary develops, you'll recognize different forms of the same word, which may be helpful in decoding some difficult words. So crowds are better at quantities than they are at quality judgments. And those two examples up here were number of gumballs in a jar, that is a quantity. Weight of a bull also has to do with numbers. So it sounds like that's what's saying the crowd is better at quantities. And then elsewhere in the passage it talks about quality, not even in that line reference. But answer choice D, ranking others' opinions, then developing genuinely original positions. So that's kind of an awkward answer choice. If we really translated what it's talking about, that would be a crowd saying, I like this person's opinion better than I like that person's opinion. But that doesn't really even make sense. Who would be the one to say whose opinion is better than someone else's? So anyway, the answer choice is C here, and it's based on the only place the author's talking about quantities, 11 to 14. That's also the only place the author's talking about what crowds are better at. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You could share it with someone who has trouble with these paired questions, particularly if they have difficulty when it says the author. Make sure you pay attention to that. Or you could tag them in the comments. Also in the comments, you could leave a question about any official SAT or PSAT or ACT that you have a question about. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.